Hello, everyone. Why people quit right before they improve? Now, there's a variety of different reasons, and I'm just going to say that one of the reasons that they quit is because they're just getting impatient. Most individuals do not have long term patience, also known as delayed gratification. And the reason that that is because, most people want to see results from the work that they're putting in. Now, this is also due to the incorrect mindset. I think if people go in with the right mindset, then they will not quit right before things improve. So let's say you as a person set a task, you just got to be realistic. Let's say you tell yourself it's going to be 2 quarters to get a task done. And when it comes to the due date of it being 2 quarters, let's say you're not completed with the task, but if you look at it in the proper perspective that you've had progress, you have growth. So in that, you have some positive information, you have some positive results, you have things that are tangible. And therefore, since you have tangible results, guess what? You won't quit, but you will extend the goal date, you know? Now, if you don't have the proper mindset, that is going to be quite challenging. And if you all think that I'm lying, just look all around you. In fact, you can even go into the mirror and look at it yourself. I'm guilty of it too. There's been times that I gave up, but in retrospect, I understood the reasons. I wasn't casting blame on anyone else except myself. I just had the wrong mindset. And I can, just as you can, really want to do something, but if you don't have the proper mindset, it will not get done. So that's another reason why people quit right before they improve, because they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're not looking at it from a macro. Because no matter what your situation is currently that you're going on, there's a macro to it. There's a bigger picture. You know, I get it that the way the narratives are in society, I get how it is on online, maybe Instagram, maybe Facebook. But this is the thing with that online, people just show what they want you to see. Now, just imagine this, you all. Imagine on social media if they had to show the progress from the beginning. So maybe someone you see that's traveling all over the country, maybe an entertainer that you see, it could be someone that you follow. But just imagine if they posted the progress when the person started their channel and they had no subscribers. Or let's say it's people that doing TikTok. They show when they had no subscribers and the work they had to put in. Or the people that travel and eat food, the travelers. What if they went back to the origin of when they had no one looking at them, when they just started trying food, when they was even thinking about using it to try to make money? They were just enjoying their day, enjoying their moment, enjoying their task. Let me throw a plus one. Why people quit right before things improve? The plus one is because hard work is not documented online. So social media is not a good barometer. But what is a good barometer is something that is tangible, something that you can research, something that you can see when you can YouTube someone and see the proof. So Let's use Bezos from Amazon. It's quite documented. It's documented. It's documented. And he's done interviews where he stated, and there's articles out there that's been written where the only people that believe in his vision was him and his wife working out of his garage in the early 90s. You know, the folks on Wall Street were, I don't want to say laughing at him, but there was whispers, there was conversations, there were people talking because he was not making a profit. But guess what? Him and his wife did not quit. Guess what? He did not quit. His wife also was the business partner. And guess what? They did not quit. But I can tell you this, just imagine if they did quit. They wouldn't be where they are today. And the reason why Bezos and his wife did not quit, because they saw that they were making small progress every day. And of course, they had the proper mindset. And they were just entrenched in being of service to people and understand that the byproduct will come later down the road. I mean, that's a long time. They went more than 5 years without turning a profit. You know, they went more than 5 years of people wondering, what is Amazon doing? And now, in today's climate, Amazon is everywhere, from Prime Videos to football to big trucks going around dropping off packages. I mean, they're just making money hands over fist. But this wouldn't have been possible if they would have quit right before that they begun to improve. Um, I mean, you can look at yourself. You know, I know you all out there have something that you are working on, and it's not going to happen overnight. But before you embark on it, the reason you're able to stick with it is because you have the right mindset. You have the right mindset. I always like to use this example, which is health, because everyone can usually relate to health. Let's think about exercising, correct? Now, I've always stated that people are either going to exercise on their own, or they're going to exercise when the doctor informs them that they need to exercise, or they're going to exercise because they have a lot of inflammation, or they may have a certain health situation where they're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do water fasting. Or you know what? I'm going to cut out processed food. I'm going to cut out the sodas and the juices. Or guess what? Let's say a person want to get off a medication and it's proof from what their doctor says and their own research that, hey, if they course correct and they do a different discipline for 6 months, that they can get themselves off the medicine, right? They're going to do it in most cases. But let's say there's some people out there that's like, hey, I'm going to just do what I want to do. I'll be damned. Then that's okay. And the reason it's okay is because that's what they want to do. And if that's what they want to do, you can't force them to do otherwise. But they're going to see the byproduct of that decision. You know, may it be, not being able to be self-efficient, because everybody wants to be self-efficient. Because check this out. When you're not self-efficient, the way the mind works and the way common sense works, you become a burden. Now, depending on where you're at in life, there's family members or their parents that will take care of you. If you're younger, depending on the situation. But even when you get older, right? Yes, you can get put in a home, but what type of home are you getting put in? Are the families putting their parents or their loved ones in homes where things are tough, but the employees, they won't quit right before things improve? I remember when I was younger and I had a family member that was in a nursing home, and this is when I was young. And I remember going to visit, and the room, let's just say it wasn't up to the standard that I thought it should have been, and I was just a youngster, right? Now, there were whispers from other family members that, hey, this nursing home is short of staff. This is why this is not getting, this is why, you know, the room isn't clean. This is why the room has a ridiculous smell, right? But when I got older, especially today, just thinking about it, I'm like, look, the business understood that they were short staffed, right? But just because they were short staffed then and even today, you all can feel free to chime in. If your loved one is in the nursing home, and no matter if the nursing home is short of staff, they should still want to do what regulations require, and they should not want to quit before things improve. And when I say quit, you don't want to make sure that the resident is clean. You don't want to make sure that the resident room smells neat. You don't want to make sure that they're comfortable. And that is ridiculous. And it's like they shouldn't even be working in the field. And I'm not judging, I'm just stating the truth. I'm just giving my opinion. And listen, you all can tell me in the comments. I'm sure you all have loved ones in the nursing home, or you all have loved ones that you all are paying to, like you watch staff or like a traveling nurse. You all don't want any person to not care for your loved ones in the proper way. And it's not even about the money. It's just about, treat people how you want to be treated. So I think that's highly imperative. And these are some of the reasons why people quit right before things improve. Again, I'll go over it before I let you all go. One, they don't have the proper mindset. If you don't have the proper mindset, you're not going to put one foot in front of the other, and you're not going to stick with it. Two, people do not want to be their biggest fan, and they got to understand it. In the beginning, they might be their only fan. They got to be rooting for themselves, thus they got to stick with it. Thirdly, understand that it's going to require discipline. If you don't have discipline, nothing is going to get done. And it's all about the gauge for the fourth one. It's all about the gauge that they set for improvement. Let's just say for giggles or shit and giggles, pardon me. Let's say for shit and giggles, their gauge of improvement, their gauge of growth is just doing something daily. So that's not really that much to ask, right? So if they're doing that daily, then they will eventually not quit on whatever their goal is. In fact, they will get more energized and they'll focus and they'll zone in because that's what they want to do. Even as individuals externally do not understand or sometimes understand or can just care less. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. Peace.